Welcome back to part 3 of the top 50 albums of 2015. Today doing 29 through to 20. Yes, we're getting closer and closer to the top 20 of 2015 in my personal opinion. If you have any issues with my choices, fair enough. This is just basically all subjective. This is all my personal opinion on what the best albums last year were. And at 29 we have got New Year's Day. Now, before going further, I'm going to say this. If you go pick up this album, which I do highly recommend, try and get the special edition, because you get the Epidemic EP with it as well, which has 5 or 6 more songs that are also just as high quality as the songs on this album. Now, why is this here on the top 50? Well, New Year's Day are taking a slightly different approach to what is essentially pop punk. They're adding gothic elements in there, a little bit of slightly hardcore guitars on a couple of songs as well. And obviously in Ash Costello they have a woman with a very unique kind of vocal style. Yeah, when they started they may have sounded a little bit like Paramore, but now as the years have gone on she's let more of the gothic influence creep in, and it's really worked to their advantage. And on this song they've got really catchy songs such as Kill or Be Killed, or anthems. Oh god, anthem and something or other. My mind has gone blank. I'm doing this about half hour after I've just woken up, so, but yes, in at number 29 on the top 50 of last year, New Year's Day with Malevolence. Go check it out. In at 28 is UK band Rollo Tomasi, I think that's how it's pronounced, with their newest album Grievances. Really good hardcore sort of album, with really interesting twists and turns. I mean, in a way, I suppose you could call it progressive hardcore, even though none of the songs are really amazingly long or anything, but they do kind of switch around everything. The lead vocalist has a fantastic scream on her, along with some really awesome clean vocals as well. This album is definitely worth picking up if you like any kind of really heavy music, or really experimental but interesting music, or if you indeed did like At the Drive-In. This album is well worth picking up simply just for the song Stage Knives, because that song is absolutely superb and one of my songs of last year. In fact, I might do a top 10 of what I thought were the best songs of last year, like the top 10 or top 20. We'll see about that. But yes, in at number 28, Rollo Tomasi with Grievances. Go check it out. In at number 27 is a band who may have lost some followers because they have strayed from their original sound, which was a really chaotic, sort of extremely heavy, I suppose you could call it kind of screamo kind of vibe to them. However, over the years they've, I wouldn't say mellowed so much, but they've incorporated electronic elements, and they've incorporated more and more progressive elements and become more and more of a more rounded band instead of just being pure fury. And this year, in at 27 for me, is the one and only Bring Me the Horizon with That's the Spirit. An album that, yeah, as I said, may have lost some fans, but it's gained them a hell of a lot more respect in the music industry, because when they come out, they were seen as a bit of a joke, unfortunately. And I remember seeing reviews of their very first release and people saying it was basically unlistenable. But on this, they experiment with clean vocals, they experiment with more electronic elements than the last album, Sempiternal, which is also absolutely awesome. And they've really got a handle on what their sound should be these days. So yes, if you haven't checked it out but did like songs like Throne or Drown, then go check out this album. In at 27, Bring Me the Horizon, and That's the Spirit. Number 26, we've got Nightwish with their newest album, Endless Forms Endless Forms Most Beautiful, even, I believe is how it's pronounced in English. This is their first album with new vocalist Floor Jansen, who obviously is a esteemed and very established vocalist herself with bands such as Revamp, and obviously she used to be in After Forever as well. And she suits this band perfectly down at the ground, because not only can she do the operatic vocals of the one and only Tarja, but she can also do the more normal sort of plain singing, as it were, that made Annette so good on the album she did as well. So with this album, it took a while, obviously, because some of it was finding the right vocalist, and I've got to say they've come up with what I believe to be their best album so far. I'll admit, not the biggest Nightwish fan. Sometimes I listen to their albums and I find myself getting bored after about 5-6 tracks, whereas this album, all of them absolutely love every track. I could actually listen to this album all the way through. And in the last song, it might be a little bit overlong actually, but then again it is called The Greatest Show on Earth, so really they couldn't undercut it. But yes, here on the top 50 albums of 2015 at number 26, Nightwish with Endless Forms, Most Beautiful. Go check it out. 2015 was a really good year for rock bands and rock albums. Really came back in a big sort of force. And in at number 25 on this list is the one and only The Answer with Raise a Little Hell. This song, album even, is absolutely superb. Although the song Raise a Little Hell on the album as well is one of my favourite songs of 2015. And I got to interview these guys as well. You can see the link up in the right there, or wherever I managed to put it in the end. But yes, they have come up with a really strong collection of songs on here, really catchy, definitely an album I'll be listening to again and again, and that's part of the reason why it's right here at number 25 on the top 50 of 2015. In at number 24, well, I did say it was a good year for rock, and here's another rock album by Motor Sister and their album Ride, their debut album Ride, essentially. Motor Sister obviously used to be called Mother Superior. The reason they've changed their name to Motor Sister is because it's kind of a new band without being a new band. Basically, it's most of the members of Mother Superior, and then you've got Scott Ian, from Anthrax has joined the band as well, and has really helped them come up with an absolutely superb collection of songs on here, which are really catchy. Although, admittedly, I did end up managing to find a actual physical copy of this in HMV for about £3, so I don't know how well this album's been selling here in the UK. Probably not well enough, because this is an album that deserved more praise than I feel it got, to be honest with you. But yes, here on my personal list of the top 50, this is number 24. Really strong, really good rock album, and I look forward to the next album as well. You can hear my interview with the lead singer of Motor Sister just by clicking on the link that will be to the top left, I do believe, or wherever I put it again, because I will say that. I've got to say this, then forget where I've said I'll put it. But yeah, you can click on the link that is up there, and you can hear my interview with the lead singer. Absolutely superb album. Go check him out. As of the time of recording it, this is a band who are out as one of the supports for Alien Ant Farms. I suppose you could call it a comeback, but this I am, of course, talking about the one and only The Dirty Youth. I believe they made it onto my top 10 list of albums back in 2013 with their first album, Red Light. I forgot the name of their first album. That's good, isn't it? But anyway, it was Red Light something or other, which makes it sound a bit dodgy. But the new album, The Gold Dust, they've taken a few risks, gone a little bit more electronic on it, but the songs are still there. The fantastic, catchy writing is still there. The massive choruses that will get stuck in your head for days are definitely still there as well. I mean, just look up their current single, The One, and you'll know exactly what I mean. And in Danny Monroe, they have a fantastic singer with exactly the right kind of attitude, exactly the right amount of showmanship as well live. So if you haven't yet, go pick up Gold Dust by The Dirty Youth and give them a listen if you like a little bit of pop punk. Number 22, a band who were seen as as the main support for Operation Mindcrime with Jeff Tate in it, which you can see by clicking on the link to my top left, and you can hear my interview with this band, Icon, by clicking on the link to the top right. Yes, we'll cover both those interviews here. This is their current album, The Blacklist. I believe they've got one or two albums before this. This is for you if you like Judas Priest or just like pure heavy metal, of 80s style, pure heavy metal, but this band bring it bang up to date. Really fantastic songs, but you can feel that they truly believe in everything they say. Really do push for everything and really do play their instruments fantastically, come up with some fantastic riffs, really great singing, really good songs, really driving full on heavy metal madness for you. In at number 21 is a band who I'm surprised are still not signed by a bigger label, to be honest with you. I am of course talking about One Eyed Doll. Now you can hear my interview with them, which was done just before this album was released, by clicking on the link on this video. And yeah, this is their newest album, Witches, which was a bit of a departure for One Eyed Doll in a way, because I don't think they'd ever tackled what was essentially a full-on concept album, and they tackled it beautifully with fantastic singing and guitar playing by the lead vocalist, and fantastic drumming by the one and only Junior as well. Kimberly Freeman, that's it. That's the vocalist and guitarist. But this two-piece, what the White Stripes could have been if they had any talent. But yes, anyway, this is absolutely superb. If you like really emotional, slightly blues-tinged sort of rock and roll with a bit of metal in there as well, and a little bit of humour every now and again, definitely check out One Eyed Owl. But this album is their first attempt at concept album. Sorry, stumbled over my own words there. And it tackles the witch trials, the Salem witch trials, I believe. So definitely check this out. In at number 21, One Eyed Doll with Witches. In at number 20, a band I never thought I would find myself really listening to, and I admit that's probably more to my detriment than anything, because admittedly I was one of those people who, I'll put my hands up, was a little bit wary about this guy coming from Busted. Of course, Charlie Simpson came from this pop group Busted, saying he can do metal and, you know, probably cocking it up completely. But you know what, I gave him a chance a few years ago. I ended up with the song Polynerics Laughter stuck in my head, and I thought, you know what, they've got no album out, give it a listen. And it ended up being a hell of a lot heavier than I was expecting, and absolutely superb as well. And Charlie's really, really emotional vocals help make the songs even heavier content-wise. Big, probably more of a Deftones influence than usual on this album, but absolutely worth picking up if you are a fan of emotionally heavy music. Now, let me just sort of say this. When I say emotionally heavy, I don't mean emo. Funnily enough, this is not an emo album, as many people have sort of tagged Fight Star in the past. This is too heavy to be an emo album, but check it out. Some really heavy riffs, some fantastic singing, some fantastic screaming. So yes, in at number 20, Fight Star with Behind the Devil's Back.
I try to face it all.